What's going on, guys? This is Ryan from Tower Reviews, and today we're going to be doing an in-depth review of the Otterbox Armor series, a case that is claimed to be the toughest case ever built. So we're going to go run through all the features that it says it has, go through my experiences with the case, and just explain to you whether or not I recommend it and why. So let's go ahead and first just start out with the design. So if we take a look at the right hand side of the case, we're going to see that we have the two metal buckles, which are the primary mechanisms that keep the case locked together. If we take a look at the bottom of the device, we have two hatches. If we open hatch 1, we have the lightning port and your speaker cover. If we open the second port, we have the headphone jack and mic. The ports on the bottom tend to want to close, so it can be a little bit hard to fit headphones inside. And as you can see there, you do have quite a bit of room to the right of the headphone jack, so you probably could fit an L-shaped jack in there if it's small enough. Pretty much all standard jacks are going to work pretty nicely. But one thing to note about this case is that you can't use waterproof headphones, at least not how it comes stock. You would have to make some sort of alteration to the case. But yeah, because it's just wide open, you can't really use waterproof headphones. If we look at the left-hand side, we can see we have the volume rocker and the mute silent rocker. If we take a look at the top, we have the power button. The buttons on the case feel very tactile. The home button feels nice. The volume buttons, you can hear there's a good bit of click. The volume or the mute switch feels very nice. You can actually hear that clicking as well. Power button has a nice tactile feel to it. So the buttons on this case feel very nice. On the front we have the cutouts for proximity sensor, speakers, and your front-facing camera. You also have the home button cutout and the screen shield, and you have the cutout for the 8 megapixel camera on the iPhone 5 and the LED flash. If we take a look down here, we have Otterbox's logo. So overall, for build quality, I have to say that this case is built extremely well. It is very solid. It is designed to take up to 2 tons of crushing force. It's designed to take 6.6 feet of water for 30 minutes, designed to keep all dust and debris out, and so far in all my experience it has lived up to that test, although when I first got the case I was a little bit unsure of why the water was leaking in, and it was simply because I had a screen shield underneath the built-in screen shield, which I had done with my LifeProof and had no problems, but apparently with this case you have to make sure that you don't have another screen shield on because it messes up the seal of the case, which just shows you how precisely the phone fits inside of this case. So that's not really a negative, it's just something that you have to be aware of when you get the case. So let's go ahead and just take it off and take a closer look at how everything goes together. So you simply unlatch these hooks, these metal hooks here, take off the back, and you can see just how solid this case is. I'm using a decent amount of force and it's not bending at all. It feels like it has some sort of metal plating wedged between the two plastic materials, rubber on the back, or rubber on the inside, and you can just see how it all fits together. You have the grooves on the inside of the case which match up with these squares that stick up from the outside of the case. So you can just see how precise all the cutting is and how well the phone fits inside. So it is designed to withstand maximum force in any iPhone case that I've seen so far. And so overall, guys, the build quality is outstanding. I would guess that this case will last far into the future. Just really built solidly. And the only one problem that I have with it is that it's a very sort of slippery case, which is nice because it goes in and out of your pocket easily. Usually with a case this big you're going to have some sort of issue getting it in and out of your pocket, but because of the material it's made out of, it'll go in and out of your pocket easily, but it also can slip out of your hand easily if you don't watch yourself with it, although it does have rubber around the edges, so it's really not a big deal, just something I thought I'd mention. If we talk about how the phone works alongside the case, all your camera cutouts are pretty precise, as you can see there. You can just see the white table pretty clearly. There's nothing around the edges. It's cut pretty precisely. If we take a look at the front-facing camera, you can see again there I am pretty precise and nice. As far as sound, there's really not much degradation. It sounds pretty good, and call quality, while a little bit muffled in the beginning, with time has gotten better, and it's really nothing to complain about, not a big deal, but what you would expect really with a case of this size. you're not going to have 100% crystal clear audio and audio input, so that's one thing to note. But I think it's something that you can live with when you're getting all the capability that this case offers. So let's talk about the screen shield, arguably one of the most important things when you're considering a case like this, because you're going to want full access to your screen, which is obviously the most important part of an iPhone. So basically touch is pretty much unchanged. In sort of situations where you need a very accurate touch, it might be a little bit of a problem because around the edges it gets a little bit hard to touch just because it's that's where it's supported. So it obviously lays a little bit flatter in the center and it's easier there, but around the edges it's a little bit harder to deal with. But overall, it's one of the best built-in screen shields I've had on a case. The screen still looks very vibrant, as you can probably see just looking through the camera. It looks very vibrant, and really nothing to complain about there other than the fact that it can be a little bit of something to get used to, but over time you're going to adapt to it and it's going to be just like using your phone regularly. So overall, you get a very rugged case that does exactly what it says it's going to do. It may not be the most attractive case, I'll leave that up to you, but just looking at it here, as you can see, it got a little bit scratched up on the back just from usage. Nothing that alters how the case actually works, just how it looks. So you're not going to be going for looks with this case. You're going to be able to do pretty much whatever you want with this case just because it can resist so much different stuff. You got crush resistance, water resistance, dirt, debris resistance, drop protection. It's just really a pretty good overall rounded case, although it is pretty massive. That's just one thing you're going to have to realize. It adds quite a bit of weight and size to your device. But if you can get past that, definitely I can recommend this case to you. And thanks for watching this review.